How's it going, everybody? Rybread here today, and we are back with our Nashville Predators franchise mode, and in round number 2 of the playoffs, boys, we are taking on our Central Division rivals, the St. Louis Blues. Now, if you guys remember, last series was a tremendous performance against the Chicago Blackhawks. We did go to 7 games and end up winning that one. So let's go ahead and check out the stats in that first round, because I was kind of curious to see who was doing what. But Austin Matthews and Philip Forsberg and Artemi Panarin, that first line really stepped up for us. But boys, this fourth line of Perron, Comtois, and Spacek has really become something special. And Comtois, super happy I called him up. I mean, he may not look too great, but 7 points in 7 games from a fourth liner who really gets no other time elsewhere is definitely a tremendous performance to me. But there we go, boys. We are into the next round of the playoffs, and let's check out our district goalie. John Gibson did not have the tremendous performance that we expect from him, but oh well, what you can do. He's not going to perform all the time. And that's what I said. That's what I said I wanted this team to be. I didn't want to go as John Gibson went. I kind of wanted to be able to play well when Gibson was down and have Gibson play well for us when our offense maybe isn't doing as well as it should. But now we're going up against the St. Louis Blues, who are right behind us, really close to us all season. But there we go. So let's go ahead and check out what they're going to be throwing at us as far as lines. Now, if you boys do remember, I did make some small line changes midway through the series last against the Blackhawks that did actually turn out to be really, really good. Not the same lines that we used again like all season, but still the first line is Forsberg, Matthews, Panarin. That's a great first line, as I found out. But then I have Smith, Johansson, and Arvidsson, and then Neil, Pajot, Fiala, and a fourth line of Perron, Spacek, and Comtois. I mean, I know Comtois is a 79. He's not upset or anything. It's just his defensive awareness. I mean, I don't know what it is. The dude puts up points, so I'm certainly not going to change anything. He could become a middle six guy. Wishing he would have been, an 80 already at 23. But, now that he's got that NHL experience, I think we'll be fine. But now we have Subban and Yossi, Shabbat and Ekholm, and Percy and Jacobs. If you guys remember, Ryan Ellis is hurt. I wanted to wait for him to get healthy before I put him back in the lineup. But, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Just hit best lines here. Oh, I can't hit best lines. I'll go ahead and change the lines when we get out. But let's go ahead and check out what the St. Louis Blues are throwing at us. Jayden Schwartz, Ivan Barbashev, and Vladimir Tarasenko is tremendous. I think he's won back-to-back Hart trophies. Yeah, and he just put up 85 points, so the dude kills it. He put up 60 goals, too. So, obviously, Ivan Barbashev, the third line scoring forward, is working out. I mean, he got so many assists just from being with Tarasenko. And Jayden Schwartz, another good sniper, but not too tremendous. He's what you would expect from an average first liner, but nothing too special there. Then Robbie Fabry, Kaylor Yamamoto, and Nail Yakupov. So, not a bad second line. Their center core seems to be a little bit weak. Their third line seems pretty good until you get to Berglund. You got Zach Sanford, Yori Laterra, and then Patrick Berglund. So not too tremendous of a third line, but it'll probably get the job done for them. And then Vladimir Sabatka, Jordan Kyrou, and then Carl Gervais. So not that great of a fourth line. I'm hoping our fourth line can step up for us. I mean, the only one that's matched, 1-to-1 is Spacek with Kyrou, but anyway, defensively now, this is where they make their... Never mind. I was going to say this is what the St. Louis Blues are known for, but they have nothing anymore. Colton Parayko's only an 86. Vince Dunn, an offensive defenseman, is on the first pairing at an 83. Carl Gunnarsson, he's 35. He's aging, boys, and he's 82. Zach Bogosian is on their second pairing. Chris Weidman and Sergei Nabokov. So, not that great of a defensive core. That's something we need to take advantage of. Our forward core needs to take advantage of them defensively. But then we got Jake Allen and Evan Fitzpatrick there. So, Jake Allen's still 86. Evan Fitzpatrick's still 85. So, they're just about what you'd expect. Do they have anybody scratched? No, nobody really worthwhile scratched or injured like we have. Yeah. Looking at this now, our offense should put on a clinic. Now, it's only if our defense can hold up against their defense. Their highest rated defender is an 86. That's basically good enough to be on our second pairing, but he'd be our fourth defenseman anyway. So, I'm going to go ahead here, not hit best lines. I'm just going to scratch Stuart Percy here. Oh, wait. I can just hit... Can I hit scratch? Yes, I can. I don't do this often. There we go. So let's go ahead and throw in Ryan Ellis, because he's now healthy and able to come back, substituting him in all lines. Gonna put Shabbat down a little bit because Matthias Ekholm has had a very good performance for us, surprisingly. He's had a little bit of a bounce-back season, so I'm really happy to see that. But there we go, boys. I'm done talking. I'm done editing lines. Let's go ahead and get into game number 1 in Nashville against the St. Louis Blues. Oh, my God. Come on. They got a weak defensive core. Their goalie's about average. This is one that I want to see our offense shine in. All right, let's go, boys. First period. And Robbie Fabry scores the first goal of the series as St. Louis takes a 1-0 lead, and shots are about even. Not what I was expecting, but that's okay. I think our offense and I just think our team is good enough to outdo the St. Louis Blues. Let's go. Let's have a really good second period. And we did. Artemi Panarin and Maxime Comtois from pretty much the same spot score on Jake Allen. And man, guys, a 2-1 lead. Panarin and Comtois, the first and fourth lines, are really stepping it up for us. Great to see that. They've really found some chemistry. Now, on the power play, it's a long one, too. Oh, my God, that's such a long power play. Well, we can't get the job done. Shots are even now as we hit halfway mark of the third period, but we give St. Louis a power play, and they can't capitalize on their power play with 5 minutes left in the period. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. We're up by 1. Come on. And Matthias Ekholm, and that's the empty netter. And Sanford makes it a close one. I was about ready to send us off there with about a minute left when Ekholm scored the empty netter, but Sanford scores with 40 seconds left to give the Blues some kind of hope. But that's it, boys. Nashville is going to take it 3-2 in this one. So let's go ahead and see how the guys on the ice went ahead and did it. So again, that second line loves to be a minus. Oh, my God. But our first line really did pick up the slack. That second line, I can't figure out what it is with that second line. I think it's Ryan Johansson not being happy with his ice time and his performance either. So if I could get him to step it up, that'd be great. But I just need him to step it up. I don't even know what to do to get him to play better. But it's 87. He's getting better. He was an 86 earlier. I mean, maybe he's a little bit happier. Individual performance, yeah, his ice time, I think he's fine with his ice time, but it's just he's not been putting in points or goals or anything. So, you know what? Let me try Neil with Johansson and Arvidsson, because maybe Johansson and Neil have some kind of chemistry that just clicked with them and made him happy. I don't know. Hopefully it clicks for him in game number 2 and he can put on a tremendous performance and that second line can stop being I guess they're our Achilles heel, you might say. Our second line has not been great. Come on, boys. I'm calling on you, second line. Let's go. First period. And Michael Spacek on that fourth line gets it done. That fourth line is playing almost as good as our first line, if not just as good, boys. So, man, that fourth line has really found something going down there. Jesus. Second period. And Thomas Chabot scores for us. That's a third pairing guy. Man, our depth players are, I guess I can call them depth players, excuse me. But they are really stepping up, and St. Louis can't capitalize on the power play, but neither can Nashville. 2-minute power plays, but James Neal finds the back of the net, and that second line finally finds something for us. 3-0 Nashville as we are in the second half of this third period, 35-20 in shots. Austin Matthews now scores, and boys, everything seems to be clicking. We're on the power play, and Michael Spacek scores for us. And then Thomas Chabot. Oh, my God, what an op. This is the game I was waiting for, boys. 6 goals on 40 shots and a third period to send the fans home happy as the team is now flying on a plane to go to St. Louis. But, damn, James Neal, then Austin Matthews, Michael Spacek, Thomas Chabot. Whew, scoring from all over the place. Nobody's going to be a minus, but man, oh man. Kevin Fiala had 3 assists. Victor Arvidsson with 2 assists. Chabot had 2 goals. Yossi had 2 assists. Spacek had 2 goals. Johansson had a point, and he was a +1, so there we go. Second line actually contributing and not being complete garbage anymore. I might have found something out. Let's go ahead and simulate to this to the third game here. We need to go ahead and get ourselves another win, boys. This is looking fantastic for us. Everything is firing on all cylinders for your Nashville Predators. Moving Neal up to that second line seems to have sparked something on that second line. They did do quite well. Let's see if they can keep it up in this game 3. Let's go, first period. And oh my God, Subban, and Spacek. God, that fourth line is killing it. But Colton Parayko, the only defender worthwhile on that St. Louis Blues squad, steps up and keeps them in this game within 2. Let's go, boys. Oh my God, Subban with 2 goals. That's awesome. That's crazy. All right, let's go. Second period. and Artemi Panarin scores, but they cut the lead down to 1 as Fabry and Carl Gunnarsson, as I talk smack to their defensive core, he goes ahead and steps up. He's aging. I called him old, so he's stepping up and proving me wrong. But Robbie Fabry again scores to keep St. Louis in the game. Nashville, we do have a 1-goal lead, but we need something more from our offense. Come on, boys. Oh, and on the power play, we can't get it done. Our defense has been tremendous, though. John Gibson, I'm calling on you, man. It's not been your finest performance, but that's all right. We got 5 minutes left. Can you just shut her down, man? Come on. 3 minutes. Now 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And Victor Arvidsson nets the empty netter, and then PK Subban gets the hat trick in an empty netter with 6 seconds left. And there it is, boys. The box score looks a little bit better than what the game actually was. It was close right and down until that final minute. It was a 4-3 game, but we scored those 2 empty netters. And look at that. This time it was Fiala, Peugeot, and Smith. So that third line was a minus this time. Interesting. But that second line was not. Johansson had another point. It was a plus, but Panarin and Subban, I mean, Jesus, Subban's going to score a hat trick. That's in 23 minutes of ice time. That's crazy. Roman Josi had more. I think that's because of the power play time I'm giving Josi. But that's interesting to see that Ryan Johansson also had led the forwards in ice time. So that was a good performance. Goaltending, I could have seen a little bit better goaltending there. They did score quite a few goals on not a ton of shots. So, you know, whatever. But we did come out of that one with a win, and all that matters is getting the 1 win, and it does not matter about stats, boys. All right, so let's go ahead. Game number 4. Is it time to bring out the brooms? St. Louis is sweating a little bit. They're still at home. Will their home fans propel them to 1 win in the series? Let's find out. First period, and nothing scored there. Finally, a quiet period for the offenses, and a good, solid period for both teams defensively and in net. Will one of these teams strike first and take the momentum in game number 4? Let's find out in the second period. And it is the Nashville Predators as James Neal and that second line goes ahead and scores. And I found something working on that second line. Gervais scores on that fourth line, but Comtois and our fourth line strike back. And it is now 2-1 for Nashville over St. Louis. And David Perron in that fourth line again steps up for us and gets us a 2-goal lead. That's that insurance marker. A long power play, and Thomas Chabot finally answers. But Sanford cuts the lead in half. Now it is a 2-goal lead for Nashville instead of a 3-goal lead. He gives them some life. They got about 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, boys, come on, hold on to it. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And Josh Jacobs on that third pairing nets the empty netter, and then Austin Matthews adds insult to injury, padding the stats as he gets the 6th goal of the game, and that's it, boys. The brooms are out. Goodbye, St. Louis. You have been swept. Oh man, that was just a dick move by Matthews. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, but point wise, Comtois had 3 points. He was a +3. Fiala and Spacek 2 points. Points were well distributed. James Neal was a minus. Does that mean? Yep, Johansson was a minus and didn't register a point. But these two guys, I mean, what's up with Johansson? All right, I don't know. And whatever it is, the James Neal on the second line seems to be working. Craig Smith on that third line seems to be working. So I'm not going to change anything, boys, as we just swept the St. Louis Blues and are the first team into the conference finals, followed by the Washington Capitals over in the Eastern Conference. And the LA Kings avoid a gentleman's sweep, and it's 3-2 now in that series. The same thing with the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. Okay, so they're both on this day. We could have an ending of the rounds here, or are we going to go to Game 7s? And there is a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference, not out west, where we will be taking on the Anaheim Ducks in the conference finals, boys. All right, and who's it going to be? Is it going to be Florida or is it going to be Carolina? And it is going to be the Florida Panthers. And the Anaheim Ducks have an even better record than we did. They might have been one of the better teams in the NHL here, boys. So I don't know where they finished. They might have been first in the West, but I'm not too worried because we are firing on all cylinders as we found something special in Maxime Comtois, boys. Called him up at 79 overall just because I knew he was a top prospect and I wanted to get him some playing time, and he's really rewarding me, and that fourth line would be nothing. Like, Perron? Yeah, not too bad. And then Michael Spacek here with 12 points. I mean, but this is our fourth line right here, boys. It's the second performing line. If we go ahead and check out the stats, the only line not to really be performing is Peugeot and Neal. Fiala is getting his points in though, so he's probably getting them on the power play. I don't know how many power play points he has. Yeah, he's got no power play goals, but it won't show me power play points, which is fine. But yeah, that's that fourth line. And then the second line here with Johansson, Neal, and Arvidsson seems to have found something in this latest part of the series. And then defenseman, well, PK Subban scored a hat trick. But how about Thomas Chabot, boys? You got to have depth scoring. You got to find players other than your top line scorers in the playoffs to go ahead and get you into that next round. And we certainly did. And John Gibson, improving that save percentage by 10%. Goal against average hopefully is dropping. But our offense is really helping us get through here, boys. But that's it. That is the end of the second round of the playoffs. We are now into the Western Conference Finals against the Anaheim Ducks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you in the Western Conference Finals.